sorry, but we're here. You know, it's better late than never. Thank you so much. If you've tuned in just now, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, which is Omega Live TV, and also hit that like button on Facebook right now. Share with your friends and family, especially if you know a Congolese family or you have a Congolese friend, because our guest in the studio is very passionate about her culture. She's Congolese. She's a social activist. Her name is MYA LLUNGA. And yeah, she's in the studio with us today. How are you feeling?
I'm good, thank you. Sorry I'm late, because it's
yes,
me.
You did.
Sorry, thank you for waiting, everyone.
You made it.
Glad to be here.
Yes. Sorry, I forgot to tell you guys what MYA does. She's a events planner. She does choreography. She's a talent manager. She's the director of the Best of Congo Awards. And she's a self-proclaimed social activist.
Absolutely self-proclaimed.
Yes.
I like that we said that. Yeah, because no one told me to do it. I'm just doing it.
Yeah, because these days we have to self-proclaim.
Yeah, you just do what you feel is in your heart.
You've got to give yourself these titles.
Absolutely.
When you feel like, you know, you're doing something important and people are not giving you the recognition.
You just go for it.
You just give yourself that title. Like, I'm a TV presenter.
You absolutely are too. Thank you for having me, first of all. Like, this is amazing. Thank you.
So you're 26 years old and you've done so much. You've got a lot under your belt.
Thank you.
When did the passion for, okay, I don't even know where to start because you do so many things. Event planning, choreography. Okay, so let's go right to the beginning. You know, when did the passion for, what was it that you started doing first actually? Was it choreography? Or
I think, yeah, creativity was always like my thing. I was always that kid in school that did everything from sports to, you know, dance and school productions. It was just my way of expressing myself.
Yes.
And if I look back, I think it was probably because home wasn't so easy to deal with. So the creative industry was probably like my escape. I'm thinking about it now actually, because that's why I was such a busybody. And I'm doing this and I'm doing that. And then eventually I started becoming more and more interested in my culture. So like a bit of background about like myself in terms of my family. So we came into the country, I think I was around 5 years old, from Congo. And we came as refugees. And this was around the time when a lot of well, Congo was just in a bad place in terms of like all the politics that was happening. And with my dad being quite involved in like activism at the time, he decided it was like best for us to move to England, as they do. So yeah, then we migrated to England, and that's kind of where I started to adopt the culture of England. So before that, I only spoke French and German, because we passed through German as well before getting to England. Yeah, there's never a direct route. You heard it there. So yeah, and that's
so you guys lived in Belgium? No,
in Germany. Germany. I wouldn't have known this had my parents not told me, because initially my memory is England. I grew up in Hackney. That's all I know.
Because I assumed you were born here.
I assumed I was born here too. But I was like, no, there's more. So yeah, so I guess the Hackney life kind of took over. And I think what happens is, as a refugee, and one of my friends, JJ Bola, said this really well. He's an author. He says, we have this like refugee mentality, which is to run away from our culture and adopt a new one, because it feels safer, isn't it? So English takes priority, your home language kind of goes to the back. French is that language that we were colonized with, so it's like if you don't speak French, you're not educated enough. So French is like that language. And then I got further and further away from being Congolese, and then I was like, what does that mean again? And that's where I think the passion for like taking my creativity in a certain direction came into place. So yeah. That's me. So you
studied event management at uni?
At uni, yeah. I didn't know what that was. I think I followed one of my friends to, as again, busybody. He was actually filming, it was like an award show or something. I can't remember what it was. And I was like, can I come? And he was like, yeah, what are you going to do? I was like, I don't know, carry the wires to your camera. I don't know, let me just be there. And I got there, and then I think the production manager didn't turn up. And sound check had to be run. And I was like, I can do it. I was like, what the hell sound check? I don't know what that is, but like, I kind of just wiggled my way through it. And I did really well, and I loved it. I got back to school, and I was like, so I did this thing over the weekends. And I described it, and they're like, it's events management. And I'm like, that's what I want to do. And I picked up events management. Waste of time at uni. in terms of learning the skill of it. I always say to anyone that's doing events, it's more so the experience that you get out and do.
Because I did business management, and we done a module of events management, and I was just like, okay, I didn't learn nothing.
That's the thing.
I didn't learn, because all you do is like case studies on different event management companies, and
absolutely, I think,
but the practicality of it,
you learn on the job, which is why I always say throw yourself in it and get as much experience, because I guess that kind of determines how much you know. So yeah, that's kind of how I started getting my hands wet into events, really.
So when you left uni, what was like the first major project you worked on?
Passion for Motherland, I think it was. And Passion for Motherland is a project run by Lizette Mibo. She's a Congolese model, So she was like, look, I want to do this. I want to do more than just modeling now. And I was like, I want to support that. You know, let's go. And you know, she saw how energetic we were, and that's what I love about, you know, when older people give the youth an opportunity to kind of, you know, follow through and figure out what they want to do and contribute. And yeah, that's where I put on my first kind of few events. We did the fashion shows for a few years with her, and then since then it just kind of opened up more doors and interest into building projects, because I realized I was building the project from scratch rather than stepping into like an event that was already there. And I liked that,
working from the ground
up,
the foundation.
and I felt I was quite good at that, and that's what I wanted to do. I liked kind of picking things up from scratch and then seeing how it progresses, really.
Okay, so how did you deal with pressure? Like when you first started, how was you dealing with, because managing and coordinating events is very,
I think,
you know, pressurizing.
Yeah, I didn't see it. You know, I guess it kind of works with the character that you have. At school or at university, I noticed that I focused better in a noisy environment. It's like I couldn't work in a library that was silent, so I liked chaos to some extent. I'm like, so I started learning about myself. I was like, oh, okay, maybe you're quite good at fixing things. So when it came to events, it's about fixing the problem. You can plan all you want, but essentially it's about how you manage to pull it in place. And so that's what it came down to. I was like, okay, how do I fix this problem? How do I make sure it works? And I'm a fast-paced, moving person, so I guess that kind of worked in line with, you know, what I felt like I was good at doing. Yeah, so that's probably how I got into it more.
The events and stuff like that. So moving on, you're the co-founder, one of the co-founders of She's King.
She's King.
Is it She's King or She's
King Empire?
She is King Empire.
Yeah, so She's King is, it came from, now thinking about it, it came...
That's when I first found out about you. And started to follow you. And I was like, okay, this thing seems...
Because it's a weird name, isn't it? She's King, what the hell?
I actually stole one of your quotes.
Did you? What did I say? What did I say?
Sometimes the woman is king.
Oh, but that's not my quote. I've seen someone else put it up. I was like,
So I was like, okay.
I guess after watching my mum and dad's divorce and my attachments to my parent, I started kind of building a complex about a man and a woman's role in life. And it allowed me to explore the options of being an independent woman, because I saw my mum kind of go through that divorce with my dad, and she kind of went flat, and then she just boosted herself up again and was running into her career. I mean, she had me when she was quite young, so she kind of gave up her, you know, her childhood for, you know, motherhood. And so I kind of felt, okay, I want to know how to manage myself as an independent woman without feeling the dependency of a man. And bless my dad, amazing father, maybe not a great husband to her, but I was like, yeah. And I have to be able to admit that, because I think as a woman now, me looking into being in a relationship and stuff, you have to kind of realize what to unlearn. And so I guess She's King was like my mental tool of coping with life and understanding life, and putting myself in a process of, okay, this is good, this is bad, don't fall into this, try this, give yourself strength. It's like an inner thing. And then me and Onella, we started the whole Power and Potential program. She's King essentially was just like our business name for like our events, which was based around female empowerment. Yeah, exactly. And it wasn't just to empower women, it was more so of, this is the project we're doing, we want women to work in it only, kind of thing. So it was mostly testing our actual like capabilities of working together as women. And also challenging like the stereotype of dealing with men in the industry who almost kind of like use their masculine strength over you to stop you from doing things, and it's just like battling those things. And then the Power and Potential program was like a mentorship program that we built, because we realized actually to change society, it kind of starts from within.
Yeah.
So it's like, even if we want to be political about our movement, we're still going to have to find a way to like help women or girls within themselves find the strength to like follow through. So that's when we started building that program, and Miss Congo UK, actually, we partnered up with them to run the program with their contestants, just to see how it, you know, and that's kind of how we got into it more. And we just saw the effect it had on these women. The pageantry is about selecting a queen, a public leader, and so if it's not just about leadership, you have to almost prepare the person to be a leader, and it takes a lot of inner work. So we're like, okay, this makes sense to see, you know, and that's how we kind of started testing the whole She's King thing out a bit more. Okay,
so your co-founder, is she from Congo as well?
She's actually from Burundi. And Burundi is like I always say, it's a tiny little country next to our country, but it's like on the border of Congo. So like Rwanda, Congo, Burundi, it's like they're all kind of close to each other. So her tribe, her mum's tribe is like Swahili, and my mum's tribe is Swahili. So they're all from different countries. Their tribes and the languages are the same. And she also left her country in the same exact way as me, which is a whole refugee running away. So our storylines kind of crossed, and then we met at school. And then we just,
So you met at school, not uni?
No, at secondary school.
And when, okay, so in secondary school, did you speak about this thing you girls wanted to put together?
Not this She's King, it kind of was birthed in uni, but what happened was she was going through stuff, and we went to different uni, and I was going through stuff. Then we was talking on the phone, and it's like, oh, let's do this thing. And we're like, yeah, let's do it. So then that's kind of how we started, you know, bonding with it. But yeah, so that's She's King, that's kind of how it started off.
You kind of answered my some questions I was going to ask you, because I was going to ask at what point in your life did you know, regain your interest in your culture and your heritage? I
think when I started feeling lost, which I always say is like a blessing of everyone's life. It's like you have to feel lost to look for your journey.
That's true.
And everything around me, and I always say to my friends, I started having to question everything from parents to religion to like government. It's like nothing was making sense. And the stability I needed to rely on things like a system, for instance, like your parental system or your school system, there was just too many holes in it. And I was like, I don't know where to go because I don't trust anything around me. And then it kind of made me feel like I need to know who I am a bit more. That's probably the most like definite thing I know about myself is I'm a woman, I'm black, from Congo. So let's start from the base, okay? Let's start from here. And following through that, I started to notice that the things I genuinely believed in my heart, in my soul, in my instincts, didn't fit in with some of the ideologies around me, socially, parental. It was like my mum might say something to me, I'm like, babe, I hear you, but I don't agree. And I felt like I could stand in my, you know, in what I understood. So that's kind of where I started realizing that, you know what, you might have to work backwards before going forward and figuring out what you're doing. So I think that's probably where it started. Okay. Yeah.
Your dad's a politician.
Yeah.
Your mum's a journalist. And you've spoken about the fact that they've broken up. Don't want to go too much into it, but do you feel like, apart from being a refugee and all that stuff, do you feel like that's a part of the confusion? Because maybe it was very political.
It was intense.
At home.
Oh yeah, like
because your mum's a journalist and your dad's a politician.
Yeah, but they weren't like that at the beginning. It was more so dad's the politician, mum's the wife.
Okay.
And then dad was doing his political saving the world thing, which I loved. He was a hero, you know, he being heroic. Like, oh my God, you're doing great things. And mum was just kind of like, just mute. So I didn't really see what she was doing. And then she left, and then she just bloomed into this forest. And I'm like, wow, you know. And then it made me realize that, it made me question what a woman's purpose is, and if she was doing herself a disservice of taking up mother and wife role over her own passion. And it kind of made me feel guilty, and I'm like, but I didn't make myself, so it's kind of you guys as well. But it was nice to see her find her feet, and her journalism is like her way of expressing herself, and dad's way of expressing himself. So it's like I kind of took the two worlds, and I'm like, yeah, this is kind of who I am.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you call yourself a social activist?
Yeah.
Well, you are.
I think.
Well, you're on the, well, even if you're not there 100%, you're on that journey.
Yeah, I think.
Because of all the things that you're, when you bring it
what
together,
I stand for.
what you stand for. Exactly.
I think that's what it is. I think, now, I don't know if, so recently Congo's had an election, and then Felix Tshisekedi, who is the president of my dad's party, UDPS. And his dad was running the party for a while, and he died not too long ago. But I essentially watched my dad fight for this party for like most of my life, you know, and I was always told they would never step into this position of being. And I woke up one morning and I was like, what the hell just happened? But the thing that I learned as well is there's a difference between being a politician and a social activist.
Yes, there definitely is.
And that was hard for me to take and understand, because I realized the closer we got to the, you know, the position where you are now, actually, you know, being in this party, you're actually seeing things from a different perspective. I'm not just hearing on social media, this has happened, let's fight for it. It was like, now I'm realizing there's a lot more moving parts to politics. Yes. And emotionally, I have to be able to put my emotions aside, which is what my social activism was. It was my driving force, you know, humanitarian rights and so forth, which I still stand for. But now it's like, not that it's anything to do with what's happening politically now, but it's like, okay, as a politician, you're almost picking who dies and who lives. It's almost like, no, they don't all live. It's kind of like politically, there's always an agenda that will not please someone else, or that may be unjust to someone else. And I'm quite a balanced person as a Libra, so I always search for balance. And I was like, this is harder than I thought. This is actually a big deal. You have to almost know that your agenda is bigger than today. It's bigger than just your circle or what you think, or just your views as your mum and dad, or this is much bigger now. When dad left to do his political work, it was almost like, I always understood it's because he's doing it for the country, rather than, oh, why is your dad not around kind of thing. I knew it was bigger than us. But that's the reality of it. It's like, you don't get to now just do things for your family. You're doing things for a nation. That's a lot, you know, to take in. So I had to kind of like shift my emotional perspective on life, if that makes sense. As an activist, I'm like, okay, there is more than just what I think emotionally is right and wrong about this. You know, same thing we see in politics. They're bombing Syria. Oh my God, but it's like, who are you standing for? You know, it's not as black and white anymore. And I think it's just more so a test of character as well. It tests you as a person. What do I stand for? Your morals have to be on point, your values, your principles, because they will absolutely get tested. And you know what power does to people? As soon as you step into stuff, go on then. fix it then. So it's just like, okay, this is real. So I think it's just more so preparing my mind to adjust to things in a way, but still stand for what I stand for. So yeah, that's kind of the new world that I'm in at the moment. If you've just tuned in, we're here with proclaimed social activist MYA LLUNGA. She's from Congo. She was born in Congo, as I've just found out today, and came here at, you know, a young age. She's been telling us our story. What MYA does is event management, planning. She's the director of the Best of Congo Awards, which we're going to talk about now. And I think everything she's doing and going through is, you know, building her to be a very powerful woman within the Congolese community, not just in the UK, but globally. This girl knows everybody. You need to go on her social media. She knows everybody who's French, literally. I had to learn, didn't I? Like, literally, she knows everybody who's French. So, MYA, you're the director of the Best of Congo Awards. When I saw that, I was like, wow, this girl is making power moves. It's just this. How did that happen? So the founder, Pauline Godwin, I call her mum now. So we got, you know, put together by a friend of ours who said, yeah, I know someone that can help you with the project. And she was like, I want to do an event because, you know, I want to celebrate the Congolese people in our community. There's not much going on. And I was like, yes, we need this. This is what we need, you know, and I don't have the capital to do it. So it's like, I have the ideas around it. I've got the skills around it, but, you know, you're going to have to finance it. And that's kind of how it came about. We brought a small team together and said, look, we're going to do this event to celebrate, you know. And
so this was the first one?
This is the second one.
The second one. So was you around for the first one?
Yeah, we built the same. So we did the first one, and I know a lot of people don't really know much about the Congolese community from our perspective. But I have to always remember that just because we're in it doesn't mean that everyone sees things the same way we do. And we're in England, which is more of an Anglophone background. So it's, you know, But in our community, we've had, like in England anyway, a lack of movement in terms of like togetherness and events and things that kind of bring us together. I think the only event that was kind of running consistently was Miss Congo, Frankos Chibuki runs, and which has been a helpful thing in the community. It keeps us mobilized. It's not enough, is it? But it's like you can't just wait exactly just for one thing every year. So when she said she wants to do this, I was like, I'm grateful for this. Let's go for it. And then we built the awards, and then I realized very quickly, this is not an event. This is a whole project.
Yeah, because it's huge.
This is huge, you know? And then we sat down and we're like, okay, I'm not the event planner anymore. I actually want to manage this project properly.
Yes.
And I guess Pauline loved my drive and my commitment. And I said to her, I believed in her vision, and I knew we needed it. I believe in highlighting positivity. Because in our community, it's like, oh, we don't do anything positive. And it's like we all have a negative perspective of ourselves as Africans or black people anyway. And the only way to change that, I feel like, is to highlight more positive role models, positivity, so that we don't feel embarrassed about proclaiming that we're Congolese. I think that's, when you don't have an identity, then you don't exist. Do you see? So it's like...
Because I was actually proud for you guys. I was like, this is amazing. You know, I was like, wow, this is... Congolese people need this. They need something to call their own.
Look forward to, you know. It's like, I mean, being here is Nigerian society, it's a Ghanaian society. So it's like,
it's just about the West, isn't it?
That's it. And I grew up working around it. I went to a Nigerian church, so my culture was almost ultimately Nigerian. And it felt embarrassing to be Congolese to some extent. Oh, because they do this, they do that. And what we do is we kind of step away from our community and then adopt other people's communities. Then there's no Congolese community, if that makes sense. So I was like, if we're really about it, because if I'm saying this, there's surely someone else is thinking the same thing as me. Maybe it's just a matter of bringing like-minded people together and rebuild a community. So that's kind of like been my perspective of why this is important for our community. It's not to say that, oh, there aren't negative things happening. It's just, can we please also highlight there are amazing people doing amazing things. And we have to challenge our own perspective of ourselves, because I think that's what it is. It's like most of the people I meet that are Congolese that are doing well, the reason for their success that they will feel is because they remove themselves from the Congolese community. I was just about to say that. And I'm like, isn't that mad that we feel like we have to not be ourselves to be better? And it's like, well, why don't we just recreate what it means to be Congolese as a community? Because eventually we're going to need each other. We need industries. You can't be the only musician doing it. If you know anyone Congolese, it's Eddie Caddy in the UK. It's like, Eddie Caddy. And I said to Eddie, I felt so bad for you. I'm like, Eddie, we need it. It's like, Eddie's a doctor. It's like, he can't do everything for everyone, you know. And it's like, he's done his part in opening doors. It's everyone's opportunity as well to step in and also do their part too, and to show support for each other, because essentially he stepped up because he felt that we wasn't supporting him enough, and he wasn't lying either.
He was trying. He was actually
really hard.
Congo and going to Congo and showing the nice. That's where I saw the nice parts of Congo from his social media, and I was like, wow, like Congo is a beautiful place. It is, and it's just we need the strength to own it for ourselves. Definitely. I think that's why. And even when I spoke to Eddie before, I was like, he's like an older brother to me, and I was like, I want to do this project. And the reason why is because I feel like in my generation, like our age, we don't have enough to look up to. It's Eddie, maybe Fally. That's about it. But it's like the ones that you do, the other Congolese people you do have, they're not in the UK. I know they're in France.
Hence why we went from the Best of Congo London to the Best of Congo Europe, because it was like, when you're looking at we put the criteria for the awards together and the activities in the industry, it was predominantly in France and Belgium, where when I went there, my idea of what being Congolese was almost had to go in the bin, because they are the Nigerians of Congo in France. So it's like, if you don't know a Congolese friend, how? Everyone, if being Congolese is like the most amazing thing, culture, music, all of that. Exactly. And Belgium, exactly, because I guess the colonization is why they settled in there more. So their vibe about being Congolese is amazing. I saw how the musicians used our language and our culture. These guys had crazy numbers on everyone's set, you know. So it was more so a matter of letting our side meet theirs and their side meet ours, and just kind of bringing the community together. And then having a new threshold of quality, if that makes sense. So that's when we made it a European award, and we said, okay, we're going to make it about the diaspora. And I guess my undertone sort of agenda with the diaspora is to kind of make us realize our duty to support our country. At the end of the day, we can run away from home when we like, but we still have to go home eventually. And I've never been, I can't believe how dedicated I am to going home I probably would move there and live there, and I would have never thought that. But the more I get to know myself, I'm like, you actually have to go home. Brexit is really kicking me. It's time to go. So yeah, I think that's probably why I felt like, no, we need this. This is a need thing. It wasn't easy to do. And the good thing about learning about my community is knowing what their symptoms are. I call it symptoms, what our cancers are. So it's like, we're dealing with patients here, guys. You can't be that upset with them. We know how they behave, so let's work around their behaviors. And that gave me a lot more tolerance for what to expect. First awards we did it as a secret location. Because
why was that?
This was because in our community, I don't know if you guys have known, but we don't really have concerts and things like that anymore.
My mum used to go to Kofi
Olomide Day. That would have been in 2001 or 2. That's how
no, she used to go years
before
ago.
that.
Farm. You know when you used to go.
Wow. See, since those days.
I think she's the only Ghanaian woman that used to
really?
go.
Since then, there hasn't been any musicians playing. And I was always saying to my Nigerian friends, you people, have your David on whiskey. If Kofi Olomide comes to this country, they'll fill out a stadium that quickly because they've been so successful. But because of the political tension and the activism, we felt as though, I say we because it was a thing that I guess we were all kind of supporting at the beginning. Why should we constantly have concerts, and we're riding out for concerts, but then when it comes to standing up for social activism, we're not really saying anything. So, you know, the political social people kind of stopped all of those activities. You do a concert, they would boycott it. The venues are not interested in having people throwing cans and things in their buildings, so they're like, just lock off the venue. Musicians stopped risking it, promoters stopped placing their money in it.
I was going to ask you, why haven't you done
it's almost, it's like
a concert?
One of my Nigerian friends, promoters, was like, no, I'll do it. So I'm bringing somebody. I said, go on then. If you don't believe me, I'm telling you, don't do it. He put this money down. He's like, no, Maya. They all give me back my money. I said, you are listening to me. Like, the mobilization around this boycott is too powerful at the time. So you kind of have to wait. But then there's been this little shift in this whole political thing. Now, personally, for me as a promoter and a social activist, it's a bit hard now. Where am I going with this? But I still feel like we need activities. We need the bringing together of people.
Because music brings people together.
Don't take that away from us. That's what we have. We have funny clothing. That's us though. Let's own it. Why are we going to run away from what we have? You know. And the thing with like the Best of Congo Awards is it's just highlighting across the board, because we could have did the music award or the fashion award and we would have been great at that. But no, we want to know what the sports industry is doing. We want to know what the art industry is doing. We want to know what the business industry is doing. So I feel like the overall look of that kind of should shift our dynamics a bit about being afraid of doing the things that we are really good at doing. So I guess now, hopefully, it's a risk even for myself. Where I've said I'm definitely going to do a concert soon. I've been told I don't think you should do it because otherwise, and I'm like, I'm going to have to take the risk. Somebody has to do it, and that's always been my attitude. That I'll just take the L there. Someone's got to do it, you know. But then also it's a big test for us because I can't do it alone. I need the community to be with me. So it's like, okay, I'm going to speak to people and say, guys, we're going to have to come together. This is a good time. You can try yourself to do it because it's competitive, isn't it? It's like, oh, every promoter will be like, I want to be the one. But it's either you do it by yourself and lose everything, or you come together and we support each other in that. So I think it's just more so the exercise of us coming together with these projects.
So can you tell me a bit about some of the people that won awards at last year's Best of Congo? I believe we have some pictures.
One of the biggest
ones. Congo awards.
One of the biggest ones I would say was Dr. Mukwege.
Yes, I was going to talk about him.
Dr. Mukwege, if anyone's ever heard about him, he recently won the Nobel Peace Prize. And he's this amazing man who built hospitals in Congo, you know, in villages, little villages.
Sorry to cut you. But if you want to know about this man, watch City of Joy
on
Netflix. My God. Maya directed me to watch it.
City of Joy.
City of Joy is just an amazing film if you want to know, get more in-depth knowledge about, you know, what women have been through and are still going through undercover in Congo.
Yeah. I think
I believe the pictures are shown, by the way, of some of the Best of Congo awards.
I'll talk about more of the Best of Congo and get to Dr. Mukwege, but we had people from different countries, of course, winning. I don't know where to start with naming some people, but God, where do I start? Because it's like a European awards, it's like, you know, it's all over the place. But there was a lot of people, mainly from different countries, not just here. Of course, you had, like, for instance, in music, we had DJ Edot, who's Young Bane's manager. We had, who else? Yeah, there's too many people because it's like an award with like 50 awards in it.
Okay, so let's talk about Dr. Dennis Mukwege and what, you know, he set up in let's talk about him because he's just amazing.
Do you see? Did you like? Yeah, I couldn't finish it because it was too emotional for me. Like,
I was watching it. I was sleeping and watching it.
Yeah,
literally.
Yeah,
like, I couldn't sleep. But I watched it to the end and I was like, this really opened my eyes about Congo.
Yeah,
like, I didn't know anything. I didn't know women went through that.
This is why they say
I didn't understand the war. I didn't even. The
conflict of minerals is like this. So let's say the neighboring villages, for instance, where of course most of the women are farming and so forth. So the rebels attack the villages in order to kind of get rid of everyone there and then start the mining industry where they then start selling off. Exactly, they're selling off the things that we use for our phones and our mobile and our laptops. So that's why we say that it's been fueled by conflict war.
Yeah.
And the reason why they attack the women, for lots of different reasons. I say mainly, if you look at the way structure is in society, for me, the woman is what holds everything together. That's why you call Africa Mother Africa. If you want to break anything down, you start with the woman. You finish her off, then the man is almost, he doesn't know where to start. So I feel like it's almost a deliberate thing to attack the women and to break the families apart, to put the women in isolation because they can't farm anymore after how, you know, being raped and abused by countless soldiers and the kind of things they do to them is it's unspeakable, you know, the violation that these women go through. And I feel like the attack on the women is an attack on society. It's an attack on, that's how you break a society down. But Dr. Mukwege, he, you know, takes these women in and he repairs them. It's just, and it's not just, he built this place called the City of Joy where he kind of protects them. You know, they get mentorship in therapy after, you know, all the abuse that they face. And he's been doing this for so many years without any notice. He didn't care for notice either.
And he's a pastor, and he was a he's gynecologist background, and then became a pastor.
Exactly. So spiritually,
which I found
amazing. You know, it's like watching it and just seeing what he went through, constantly having to look down the barrel of a destroyed woman, as I would say, having a wife and a daughter. I think it made him realize very quickly how impactful this war was and why the women were the target. And that's why I feel like as a Congolese woman, and being from, because the area that they, you know, they're in, it's like Kivu, you know, it's like a Swahili area. Which is where my mum's from. And just to sit there and think, I could have been one of those 5-year-old girls that were raped by, you know, soldiers. It was that easy and that close to be in that position, and somehow I've been privileged enough to be away from it, and to know that till now it's still happening is mad for me. So with Mukwege winning the Nobel Peace Prize, I think for me was symbolic to, personally for me, you have to do more. Let's do more. You know, he's been doing this his whole life, like, you know. And then some of the women came as well to, because we went to Oslo to Norway. For the it was just a weird year. I was like, what the hell was going on? You know, I was in Oslo the year before, and my cousin took me to the Nobel Peace Prize. She's like, oh, I'm like, I didn't know it was here in this country. And then I was back the following year, being a part of the ceremony of a man that's really close to us, because he won the award a few months before in our awards.
That was his
It was mad. It was just so emotional. It was, and to see some of the women that, you know, survived it were there to talk as well. It was the most inspirational thing I've been to, and hearing his speech, it almost felt like he won the elections as a president. I was like, please be the president. But
he would make an amazing
he would, wouldn't he? Right? I mean, I say that because of his understanding of women.
Yes.
And when I met the president now, I spoke to him and I said, your party is worrying me because I'm the only girl in this room right now, and the only reason why I'm here is because of Dad. You know, this is my access. I've genuinely got an interest, but if you want to fix Congo, aim for the women and children. Like, I know it sounds like everyone says it, but the youth are the future. They're the biggest part of the population, and the women hold the country together. You know, so it's like, for me, logically, you know, strategically, women and young people are what every society should have more interest in. So when you're looking at it that way, then it's kind of easier for you to understand why Mukwege is so impactful, because he dedicated his life to saving women. And it's just inspirational. I really, really just watch it. It's just the best thing. You just have to watch it. It's the only way to explain it.
Okay, so we've been talking to MYA LLUNGA, and she's a social activist. I mean, her story is so inspiring. I'm just like listening to her speak, and I'm like, I know this woman's going to be big one day.
Oh, thank you so much.
Seriously, you are, and you're doing so much. You know, a lot of people don't know about you, and I'm just happy that I invited you here.
Thank you so much.
You know, because this show is all about bringing to light people doing amazing things within their communities, you know, various societies and their professions, and you're just like, you're a gold digger. You know, you've achieved so many things, and you're still digging.
Thank you. You know what's so weird?
To achieving more goals.
You don't really know you're doing it. I feel like I haven't done anything. I feel like
you've done a lot. And you're only 26.
Yeah, but I feel like, oh my God, you're 26. You're going to be 30 and you haven't done anything. What have you done? It's like we have this weird perception of ourselves. So I think I just kind of, and I say to myself, I have a very bizarre philosophy about life now since my transition, I call it. And it's like, it's not promised that I would even make it to 30, if that makes sense, especially in the kind of world that I'm in.
And not what's happening.
Exactly.
Like I don't even know today. I was so emotional about this guy's death.
It's
so sad.
Do you know what I mean? It's like, and I think my dad said this to me before. He said, you have to not be afraid of death, which makes you look at your purpose in life differently. It's almost like, I have no control over time. All I can control is what I'm doing now and hoping that I'm fulfilling my purpose. And most of us don't know what that is, and that's why we feel lost and depressed, because we don't really know why. What am I doing here? And then you kind of get caught up in all the little social worlds that you're involved in, whether it's a little relationship you're going through. This is my escape to kind of realize that my life, like the world is bigger than my little problem that I have right now. And I guess that kind of is what keeps me going. Stuff like this is like what's happened with Nipsey is kind of like, oh, this is, why does that hurt so much? I know what death is. I know that it's promised to everyone and anyone, it's unexpected. But why is it so shocking all the time to realize that someone that's doing great may not be able to. But then I said this to my friend, who's to say he hasn't fulfilled his purpose?
That's what I was thinking today, because I saw a picture of him and Tupac together, and I was like, you know, they both died young, but they kind of fulfilled their purpose. I mean, that's what legends, a lot of legends have died and they've fulfilled their purpose. Maybe it was just his time.
For instance, Lumumba was a young man when he, you know, was the vice president of Congo. He got set up to some extent when before Mobutu, then Mobutu is Kabila, then Kabila's dad, and then this president. So Lumumba is Patrice Lumumba, very powerful man in our history, and he basically was the person that, you know, led us into our independence. And when I was looking into their lives, I realized these guys were young guys. They were like in their young 20s, and I'm like, that's really bizarre. It's like all of these things that these men or people were doing, they were like young people, like just making it through.
Because you feel like you're young, you haven't done anything. But God forbid, if anything was to happen to you, people were like, oh, Maya did this and Maya did that. And she was the do you understand? So it's the same type of thing.
You just look at it from a different way. You know? So I'm always grateful, and I think what I'm also interested in is learning. Like I realize that with everything I want to do, someone's always done it. It's been done. In your community, I love Denta, you know. And I'm like, lady, you are doing awesomely. I mean, and I'm sure in everyone's career they feel like they've got challenges. They don't know, you know. But it's always nice to show people that, you know, I'm looking up to you. You're doing great.
There's a lot of people asking me, who's this lady? And I was like, just think of her as the Denta of the Congolese community. She's just like
imagine the whole Denta. Wow.
You know.
I think, And I realized that I'm not doing it for me, which is why
you're doing it for your people.
Exactly.
You're doing it for the love of your, you know, culture and, you know,
anything over me, because I realized that that's what kind of keeps me going. I could turn around and want to be a millionaire. I mean, we all do, isn't it?
Yeah, marry a footballer. You could easily marry one of these French footballers.
Yeah, never, no, because I'm not doing best life. I'm not doing that stress. So I'd rather this best life. Principles, I guess.
Yeah. So with the Best of Congo Awards, is it something are you staying there, or is it just you're seeing how things go?
One thing I've learned, and I said to my Pauline as well, is I'm always going to do my part. I'm aware that it's not about me, so I'll do my part and take it to the best place I can take it. And if someone can take it bigger and better, then hey, take it and do it. But I'm just doing my part in it. It's not my thing, you know. And I always say to her, she's like, yeah, Ma, you did. I said, no, this is your thing that I'm helping you with. She's like, no, it's our thing. The same way she's passed it on to me, I will be able to also pass it on to someone else.
Because I actually thought you were the founder until I did research. And I realised, okay, you're not the founder, you're actually the director.
That's the thing about my career. Like, anything I do, if you used to give me a job, I would take it as my own. So I naturally
that's
always,
what I've noticed you do.
I take things in like mine. So I guess it's passion, really.
So let's talk about your new project.
Oh yeah, called Likelemba.
Yes.
Called Like. Do you know what a Likelemba is?
No, that's what
do you guys do it in your community? It's like when there's like a group of people bring like money together. Okay. And then they say we all put a tenner each. And then if there's 5 of us, someone's always taking £50 home.
Oh yeah, we do that.
What's it called?
What do we even call that? It's like a pyramid type of
kind of thing. It's like
we have it, but I don't know the name.
Really? Yeah, see,
but we do have it.
We watched our mums do it, and this was like their ways of when they came into the country, how they would support each other in their projects and stuff. So we're like, okay, we're going to take what our mums do and just turn it into like a business plan and just be like, let's support ourselves in it.
Because this is kind of going down the route of, you know, you being passionate about helping and uplift the Congolese women and, you know, the younger generation.
Because I'm the target audience.
Yes.
So I'm doing something that I need for myself.
I actually wanted to come because I saw it on your Instagram. I was like, this is so interesting. Then I realized it was just for Congolese women. I was like, if I go, I'm going to be lost.
You know what's mad? We have to speak in our language because everyone's always getting on to us about you guys don't know how to speak your language.
So I was like, I'd be lost if I go,
my friend, when Nella came, she was like, I have no idea what they're talking about. She just sat there like, no, don't get it. But I think what we realised, me and Jessie's my partner in it, she runs a company called Jessie Bureaus, and we do the Best of Congo together. And we were like, we need this, we need that, and it's like, ultimately, we need a way of funding our projects, and we can't do it alone. And then we're like, the Likelemba concept of that our parents do is quite interesting. And She's King, we do that too. We've added a concept in our project where we put money where our mouth is. It's like, okay, I might not have £500, but I have £100 that I could give, and therefore, if we all have £100, then hey, then that's something that will contribute into your project, and her project, and my project.
Okay, wow.
And that's kind of what we decided. It's like, okay, if we've all got things that we want to do and we can't do it alone, why not build a network of, like, let's say, designers, makeup artists, whatever, and then we all share a project together and like kind of find ways to like build each other's projects.
So that's the objective behind.
The objective behind doing it is challenging challenging our bitchiness. I'll put it out there. You know, that whole weird kind of she's doing that and she's doing. I need you. So why am I going to be acting like, you know? So it's like, put your pride aside and try and build a network where it's like, okay, we don't have to be best friends, guys. But we need each other. So let's find a middle ground where we can have trust, support, and all the kind of things that give us integrity. It's just people. Let's just do that, okay? So let's not do too much. Let's just have integrity from there.
So how's that been going?
It's like I said, I feel like we have these weird ideas about ourselves. When we first did the first event and all the women that came, the love in the room was bizarre. It was like, oh my God, you know, but we all have the same mentality of, oh, what's she doing? Oh, I don't want to get involved with her because these people. But then as soon as we came in, it's like, I'm doing this and that. And in the conversation, it was like, put your hand up if you've judged someone for a reason. We're like, we all put our hands up and we were the issues that we complained about. So that was like a good wake-up call. And I think that's what me and Jessie are always trying to make people realize, that you're probably the problem that you complain about. So maybe if you do the work as well, then we kind of will find a way to middle ground, common ground. So I guess that's why it works well.
Okay, so how do you, I don't even know how to say that, you're just like, so with code
Likelemba.
Likelemba, Is that something, obviously it's something you want to grow, and you know, so how do people like find out about it? I mean, where are you on social media?
So social media.
I'm going to give you a chance to say that at the end, but I just want you to talk about this so that if there's any Congolese women watching, or you know, that have daughters,
yes,
or have you know, teenagers, daughters.
Yeah.
What's the age?
We don't really have an age for it, but it's more so you have a business, you've already started running it, it's happening, it's not just an idea, I have this idea. No, it's okay, well, you're doing it, what have you practically...
So it's for Congolese women in business?
In business, entrepreneurs that are trying to make ends meet, but also are trying to find ways of genuinely building their business profiles and expanding their network. So if you, I mean, one thing I've learned about the Best of Congo is I've met a lot of people, and it was through that, you know, just discovering new people more and more all the time. And I realized that that was something that made me valuable as a person. It's like, it was nice to be able to say, hey, hold on, if I could call someone to do this for you, I know someone, and connecting people that way. So that's kind of how that whole thing works. So if you have an idea, not a business, and you're running it, but you have short ends, you're not maybe getting as much business as you need, or no one's supporting you in this or whatever, then let's build a network together and see how that develops. So we've got the London one going, we'll start in the Belgium one and the France one as well. Just pockets of societies, and then have it online. It'll be a bigger mega society, so we can interact online together. But essentially the social meetups are like city per city. And we are trying to target, we're trying to target outside of just our London mindset, because I think you think London's your head is the world, and it's not. So we met a lot of people online, especially our social media following now is picking up small, you know, because it's just started. But people want to meet and work from across now, because it's not just about the person next to you. I really encourage people to try and interact and network with people across the seas as well, because there's a bigger need for it. So I guess that's why it works that way. So social media just kind of helps us to connect everyone more.
Okay, so you said, you know, like a few years ago, or let's say 7-8 years ago, you wouldn't think about going back to Congo, but now you do. What is it that you would? But what is it that you would like to do in Congo? And you know,
first things first, and Eddie Kali said this.
Like realistically, what do you think you could achieve? You know,
I would say,
like if you was to go back in the next
I'm genuinely becoming more and more interested in structure and social structure. Don't want to be a politician, not doing that, but I do want to influence infrastructure. I want to influence systems that allow education, especially, and also I'm becoming more interested in the cross between the diaspora and Congo. So I find that I'm going to definitely be doing more work around tourism. And investment, which is what my mum somehow randomly, she's like, yeah, I'm doing investment now. Sorry. Okay. So finding ways of introducing the two worlds together, building that sort of society. And I think media is something that I've realized I need to put my hands in, because media is the communication of life now, isn't it?
It is, definitely.
So yeah, media and tourism is probably my main two things that I'm gonna kick Congo with.
Okay.
Yeah.
So apart from Dr.
Mukwege,
who else do you admire in the
Congolese community? I mean, this lovely lady called Aika De Jong. She's a host as well in Belgium. Really great energy. She's out there kicking and doing her best. There's some really good charities as well that have been doing really well. The Laika charity, and that is a school for young Congolese girls. I realized that there's people doing things and they don't shout about it, just getting on with it. And that's kind of what I've really loved about this community that I found. You know, most of these people that are quiet are doing great. Musicians are doing amazing. Yusufa, for instance, from MYA Music. There's a lot happening outside, and now I've become interested in connecting I'm interested in a lot. Connecting the Congolese community to the Western, like Nigerian community. And I've seen that it's starting to happen now as well.
I can see it too. But I think you have the personality, the character, the charisma.
But that's because I've grown up in a Nigerian community, so I know this side of it, and now I'm learning about the French community, and then I'm seeing where this is kind of where we meet in the middle. Music is easier to kind of see that with, because musicians can cross over. Like the French market, their numbers are ridiculous with, you know, because the Francophone market is big,
it's big,
but it's not as big as the Anglophone market. It never will be, because the colonization of English is much wider. So French artists are eventually, if they want to be global and international artists, they're going to have to tap into the Western world either way. So finding ways of collaborations and just connecting the two is something my eyes been like, don't worry, you're doing that soon, yeah? I'm like, okay, yeah, cool. But
yeah. So what's the ultimate goal? I mean, we all have a dream.
Yeah.
We all have that dream that we, like, I want to be Oprah.
Do you know what?
You must have a dream. Like, what's the end goal?
I think my end goal is balance. I know it sounds really mad. That's the best I've got right now.
Just balance.
Balance. And I think because, I'm a woman and I'm a community person, a people's person as well. My family, I love children, and so for me it's like I want to have 8 kids, you know what I mean? Where's the time? Yeah. My mom looks at me like, okay, I had you when I was 16 and I'm doing great now, you haven't started yet. So I think I just want to get to a place where I'm impacting my community in a way that my children can also benefit from it, and then being able to balance a home, I think. And I look up to a lot of women, and it's not because they are successful in this or successful in that. I think I admire women that find the balance of how to be a career woman and a woman, a home woman, and then just your own woman as well, because I think that's quite hard to do. You're everyone's everything but your own. Really, so I realized that if tomorrow I want to be like Oprah, but if I never become Oprah, then is that what success is for me? And as far as is that what I want in life? I think balance is probably something I could close my eyes and say, okay, God, fine, I want balance. Fine. But yeah, I wanted a lot of things, and you can see I'm like, for me it's like I'm gonna blink and see what happens in 20 years.
You'll find the balance eventually.
But just to impact people around me, I guess for now it's just my main focus.
Wow, it's been amazing talking to you.
Thank you so much.
You're like a breath of fresh air.
Hey, thank you.
And I'm hoping that, we've had some people from the Congolese community tune in and watch and...
The Ghanaian community, we know you guys so well, you see. My nephews are half Ghanaian, you see. It's like, my sisters are everyone goes for Ghanaians, I don't know what's... Yeah, you are. I think it's because I'm really calm and we're just hyped, so I guess the balance really works out well. So yeah, the Ghanaian community for us is, we know you guys. I think that's why I'm so happy I'm here, because, you're interested in knowing us as well, so...
So where can people find you on social media? I mean, you've got so much things going on.
Yeah.
You've got She Empire, you've got Code Lay.
Yeah, that one.
The Best of Congo was please let everyone know where they can find you on all social media platforms.
My personal social media platform is The Pretty King, all one word. She's King Empire, that's She's King Empire, all one word. The Best of Congo Awards, that's The Best of Congo Awards, all one word. I guess Instagram's become the new Google, so that's where you can find me on Instagram. And then from there you'll find everything else. So
well, it's been amazing having you. We've had Maya in the studio. She's Congolese. I can't stress that enough. I'm so happy that I invited her to come here. She's told us about all the things she's doing, and you're going to see her. She's a force to be reckoned with.
Thank you.
She's a powerful woman. That's the most important thing. It's still not late to share this show with people. We have been live on YouTube. Our YouTube page is Omega Live TV. You can subscribe and get latest updates for all our shows that run from Monday to Sunday. We're also here on Facebook, so please like the page so that you can get updates here. And yeah, we've had Maya. It's amazing. Thank you so much. We were late, so sorry, but
guys.
It was worth it. It was worth it. It's definitely worth it. We'll be here next week. The same time, well, not the same time, we'll be here next week on time at 8 p.m. And I've been your host, Miss Newlove. Thank you for watching, everyone. Till next week.